Welcome to the Robert Mann String Quartet Institute. We're here at the Manhattan School of Music in New York City in the William and Irene Miller Recital Hall. This is the third day of a 5-day intensive workshop, and this is our second day streaming live to anyone who has an internet connection. I'd like to thank the Distance Learning Department at the Manhattan School of Music for making this all possible. Why do you think it is that so many young, extremely talented string players want a career playing a string quartet? There was a survey done in the New York Times many years ago that asked the question of many professionals, how satisfied were they with their career? The two professions that came out on top were string quartet players and airline pilots. And that was done before 9/11, so I'm not sure airline pilots are still up there. But the question remains, why the string quartet? And I think one of the main reasons is the repertoire. It's mind-boggling, the great literature we have. Just mention the name Beethoven to a string quartet player, and you'll see his eyes sparkle and light up in delight. There's something about the number 4, the purity, the individuality. Every part counts, every note counts. But I guess in the last analysis, like most things, you have to experience it in order to really understand what it is to play in a quartet. But we're lucky, as listeners in an audience, we can appreciate and marvel at the results. And today is really a chance for those of you who are watching to get a view into what makes for a great quartet performance and a great quartet. There's probably no one today who understands the art of string quartet playing more than Robert Mann. Robert Mann was the founder and first violinist of the Juilliard String Quartet, and his ability to communicate as a player and as a teacher are really unparalleled. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll get this view into the special world of the string quartet. Thank you.
Before you play, I think I should add a little bit of addenda to what he just said. One of the major reasons, I loved quartets as a kid, but one of the major reasons I decided to be a string quartet player was because I was listening to people like Yehudi Menuhin and Roger Ricci, and they were playing Paganini all over the place and concertos with orchestras, and I knew I would never be able to play that kind of solo with that kind of virtuosic technique. So I chose something that was equally difficult, but in a different manner. In other words, the coordination was easier, and that's why I became a strong quartet player. So if you don't want to be Roger Ricci, you can be a good quartet.
We are the Tesla Quartet. My name is Ross Snyder. This is Michelle Lee, Kimberly Patterson, and Megan Mason. Today we'll be performing 2 movements from Bartók's 4th Quartet. We'll begin with the 3rd movement, and then, time permitting, move on to the 2nd movement.
very good. I like your approach a lot. I think there has to be a little bit different dynamic approach. First of all, go from your mezzo forte solos. They should be more overt all the way. In other words, you're playing them beautifully, but basically don't feel that you're going to crowd forte. The mezzo forte should be out and very strong, especially the accents. Da da, ya da, da, da da da. And I'll tell you, I would like, maybe you can do it in New York. When I was in Hungary, I used to go to the restaurants, the Hungarian restaurants. You can go to Hungarian restaurants on 2nd Avenue here in New York City. I don't know if in my student days there used to be some pretty damn good gypsy fiddlers in these restaurants, and you can get a wonderful idea of the freedom with which they play the solos like you have, and even what you have there. That it has much more. They don't have so much imagination, but they have a lot of variation. They do. They know what they're doing all the time, and they really get to the eating people in the restaurant. And so you have to get to the eating people in your audience. So basically, it needs to be more overt. That's the first thing. And the first easy thing to get is Ponticello. We were made practically to play on the other side of the bridge. So get as close as you can to the bridge wood, to the wood of the bridge. I see there's generally about, well, almost a half an inch of you people are away from the bridge. No, we were forced by our mentors to play practically on the bridge. So do that. That's important. As I say, I liked your approach. It had a little bit of kind of stationary. That's because you're just starting to play now. I'd like you to start playing again, and let's see if we can free it out a little bit, okay? Don't worry about the tempo markings that are down there. We, of course, never played for Bartók, but we played for any number of people like Kolisch and Lehner and all these guys in the quartets that did play the Bartóks for Bartók. And the metronome marks were never like, see, I went through 3 phases of life in terms of Beethoven metronome marks. At first I didn't know anything about them. Then I became a fanatic to do them exactly as I understood them to be, and then I began to be a little bit more relaxed about life and play what I felt was the right character, whether it was the right metronome mark or not. And here, I think you're too stationary. The thing should be moving. Start really as you do at the beginning there, and don't be afraid to change your bows. You see, I mean, I would get, and if you have to change, just change without any sound of a break in the change there. Start that. See if we can get that. All right, now why don't you play with much more motion without any more pressure? That was the right weight, but much more. Remember, there's a reality, and most of the halls will never be like this hall here. So you have to really, the people have to be aware that there is this sound that's sort of in the atmosphere, and they don't know where it's coming from, but just keep moving, okay? No, start near closer to the frog and just let it, just coast on the string. Have the bow on the string when you start. Good. Keep it moving. Wait a minute, I don't hear da. I don't. Let's hear all the sounds equally. In other words, it's harder when people start playing double stops, but basically you got to hear every one of those descending. So try again. That was good though at the beginning. And good. Keep the bow moving. Keep the bow moving. Make a little silence before you start the vibrato. Da, da. And you can play a little louder on the vibrato one because we need a better background for the solo that's coming up. Keep the bow moving. I don't hear the fourth note. I don't hear I want to hear all of them, okay? So make sure that, as a matter of fact, it wouldn't hurt that each new entrance feels a little more solid than the previous one, okay? And that's the note I want to hear. Now stop. Yes. Wide vibrato. Now, your accented notes are wonderful, but the note after them is too weak. Yeah. You went da da da, sure. No da da. It's all of a real solo. That's where you should go to the restaurants and listen to these guys play. They're while you're eating. They really know how to play these kinds of solos. Right? Can we start right there? Good. I think you're a little bit fast. There can be a rubato to this, but if there's any extra rubato, it's that the longer notes are made a little bit longer. Da, da 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 da, da 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 da, like that. But the long notes are more important. Okay, try it again. No. Make that C there end. You don't go into the da-da from the C. You stop. Dee-da-da. That's a new breath. You might even say that's on one breath, the first one, and then you stop and start again. You see? You're doing two of those. Do again, because and a little bit more singing on the 16th note. Yada, da-da. It has an accent always on it, right? Ta-da. And a little bit da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, dee-da, like that, okay? Vibrato. Good. But wait a minute. Do you slur into that a da 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 da? that E flat there?
No.
Hmm?
No.
You don't? I want to hear it. See, da, almost as if you take a half breath. Da, 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 like that. Not da, di, da, di, da. But you get the idea?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Once again. Good. Start. Wait, no, wait. Da-da. Da. Take a full breath, you see. You know what? I just had an idea. I think, actually, I've never thought quite like this. I think chamber music players or musicians should all be forced to sing. To sing, well, Lieder or Schubert or anything, but so that you understand what it's like to take a breath. Because, see, we can keep moving the bow on the string all the time, but a singer has to take the breath to make the next phrase, you see. And that, I would hear, is absolutely a must, you see. Dee-yum, dee-da-da, like that, okay? We don't have to do the whole thing. Do the, after 5, 6, 7. Do 6, 7, 7, da, 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 da. Now, look, right now, you don't sound any different than they do. So you could be maybe a little softer, but that doesn't matter, but you must be a little bit louder, even though I know you're going up to mezzo forte soon, okay? You know what? You don't have to play the 30 seconds so nervously fast. Da-dee-da-da. It's calmer. It's a calmer kind of phrase. Don't sound nervous. See, I mean, I'm not saying you are nervous, but that it shouldn't be a nervous kind of music. You see? All right, try again. And yada da 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 dee da dee da. No, I would want the 16th to be more sustained. Dee da da, dee da, ya da, like that. Dee da da. It even has a little bit of a kind of an accent quality there.
Yeah.
Right. Do the measure 9. You can do right on. Ya da 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 da. And take the legato markings more seriously. It's not da 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 da, but da 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 da, like that. Okay. No, could it? No, do that. Dee da. No. You're too slow. Dee da. I go dee da da. Ah, right. That's it. Right on it. Don't be too fast. Oh, I want to hear a change. I want to hear a change to the vibrato. Yeah. Now that should be significantly louder than anything you've done before. See, the mezzo forte should definitely be a little bit stronger. Good. No. Your da-da, da-da. The accented 16th, you play two kind of flitting away. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da, like that. I mean, real kind of as if you're playing against an orchestra.
Does this third one?
I'm sorry, what?
Is this last one, is the accent on the 16th? Because in my part it's different, but I have noticed a mistake or two.
Yeah, but the 16th is still too weak. Da-da! I mean, it's more singing, I agree with that, but it should be much more out and as if you're playing with an orchestra.
Okay.
Right there. Do the beginning, I do 21, 22. 22 is fine. No, 20, yeah. See, it's interesting that he marked la da da dam da 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 dam. See, it isn't da 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 dam, but da 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 dam. See, I think you have to take the legato markings of the different connections a little more seriously. Do it again right there. Good. By the way, this is just my curiosity. You have a legato, da, 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 right? You have to slide up to the second note. There's no way, I'm asking just as a curiosity. Is it possible to...
Really big hands, I could do it, but me, I don't...
I'm sorry, what?
Maybe if you had big hands, but it's a D sharp to an A, so I kind of...
You couldn't go over to a lower string and just cross over. Da. Yeah, right. Da, da. Yes. And then shift after da, 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 da.
I was wondering if my D was going to be a little muted in comparison to the A if I went to the D string, but I'll do it. That sounds good.
No, I would say it's more out.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, you really should go to some, it's not a joke, go to some Hungarian restaurants and listen to these guys who've been playing over and over and over every night for years what they play in their solos. And they're pretty remarkable. I mean, I'm telling you, there's some violinists who are real virtuosos, and I've never heard a cellist, but you get an idea about the style. Okay? Good. Oh, wait, don't you want to play the forte more strong than that? Do, ya, da, da, da. I say, think of it as if have you played slow-mo with an orchestra?
No,
All right. Well, when you ever get the chance, you should play this like as if you were Bloch is a different composer, but you would have to play differently as a concerto player, right? As a soloist. Well, this is a solo, and I want to feel that you're really in control of the whole sound. They're just there for background, you see. That would be nice. Do it again right there from da-da, the 21 to 22. Good, good. By the way, don't use much bow. You're using da 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 like that da 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 da. Really, that much bow with weight, even though it's pianissimo. I know you want to play soft, but it's the wrong kind of soft. It's sort of little outbursts, you see, and you don't want to sound like you're a mosquito dancing around where you're going to take a bite. No. You really want to da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da, like that, okay? Just before he begins his... I don't hear the... By the way, I don't hear da-da-da-da, I don't hear that note. By the way, you know, it always sounds the same, da-da-da-dum, instead of da-da-da-da. I'd make the first note more important, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And then you can play da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-da. And then you can come out. And don't make a big accent or crescendo like you did before. Just almost as if you're buzzing around and all of a sudden you're visible. Da 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 da. Right. I don't hear the F. I'm sorry. I hate to be. You got to hear. I would say, first of all, you're not as soft as the chords that are playing with you. There are 3 pianos, you're only 2. I'd make it only 1. Okay, try that. And a little bit more in the swing with the weight of your bow. Da 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 da, da 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 da. By the way, don't try and play that too fast. I always had trouble with that. La-dee-da-da-da-da-dee-da. Do a little slower. Da-dee-da-da-da-da-dee-dee. Da-da-da-dee-da. Okay, right? That measure, where he has that, you can just start on that. Good. Don't go too fast. Now that's not pianissimo. That's closer to mezzo piano. I mean mezzo forte. Da da. Right there. That meno forte is not pianissimo. Okay? Can you start at 40? Da 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 dee da da dee da dee da dee da dee da dee da. just shift da 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 da. You shift there. Is that possibly da 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 and then shift da 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 da? Try it because get da 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 and see it. This music has no slides in it. I mean, if you have to do slides to protect yourself, okay, but don't. It doesn't sound good. Da 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 like that, right there. Can we start where right the agitato is okay? La da di da da. No, I don't. That's not clear. Ya da di da. What finger do you use there? You don't shift into the beat. No, why don't you do? You could do 3-2 and then do 1 da da da. Di da. Just don't. Let's not hear any slides. Okay? Da 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 da. Good. Very good. It's one of the most crazy viola spots in all of the literature, isn't it? Right. It's crazy. Da-da. Do you play a harmonic on the top?
Sometimes.
Huh?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Aha. It would help if da-da, da-da. You have big hands. What are you playing? Make sure the F is low enough. Yada. Da-da-da. Oh, is that what you're doing? No.
At the beginning.
I would that, and don't slide back. Play 4-3. Yeah, that da 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 dee da. It's the slide doesn't sound good.
Okay.
Yada da 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 dee da like that. By the way, you know what Bartók called these sounds, don't you? Oh. He wrote specific pieces in which he called them night music.
Sure.
Right? You do remember?
Yeah.
And it's actually the sounds of insects and things like that in the background. That's really what this music is doing, and so as little of a sliding, playing as you can get rid of, the better, because it's just.
I'm gonna have to rework my fingering for this then.
Huh?
I'm gonna have to rework my fingering for this then.
All right, okay, I understand. So, but for the future, get it. You've got a big hand there. You could easily do 1-4-4, 1-4-4. Yeah, right. And not a sleeve there. You have to be like a good, quick virtuoso. Da, T, 4-3, and then back to 4-3. Tita. Well, Tita. Don't play. It's supposed to be very soft, isn't it? I don't like that slide. That's the one. Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Can I hear you play yours? Just the beginning. La da 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 da. It's one of the. By the way, all second violinists love this moment because where do they always get such a well-stationed solo?
Right, yeah.
I mean, my God, on the G string, let alone da 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 da. Play that for me. What, I'm sorry, what do you do, da da? Yeah, but la da, di da da. Wait a little longer. Di da da, da da dee. All right, okay, all right, you'll work it out. So you don't shift there. That's good. That fingering you're using now is good. And then, all right, how do you're it is a tough spot, I know. Da-da, dee-da, da-da-da, dee-da. Sometimes people don't use the harmonic. They just do 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. 4, 4, 4, 3. Da-da, dee-da. Okay. All right. Let's go past that then. No, right on the agitato.
Okay.
Let's hear that. Good. I know, it's very hard, but play it as if it's a kind of a darting insect. In other words, don't try and play so accurately as so quickly. Okay. Like that. Okay? Can we start right at the returnando? Look, the first violin and the cello. Lean on one. Ta-dum, 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 like that. Right on it. You can't wax melodically da 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 dee da 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 da. No, da da little dee little. They're angry interruptions. Angry. See, they're not. It's not beautiful in any sense. Okay. Do it once more. Give her a chance to do that. Dee da da dee dee. Okay. I would say even more loud than that.
Okay.
In other words, you have to be above their pianissimo.
Okay.
Play your long note. Longer. I got to hear those three notes. Da 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 da. Ah, good. That was good. Not too fast. Okay. All right, that's on the road. It's a wonderful movement, isn't it? Just, I don't know any music quite like it. Anyways. Do you want to play it? Do we have time?
If you will.
All right, you want to play some? Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear this. Okay. Okay. Bravo. Very, very good beginning for this piece. What you have to now, in a sense, is face a very ambivalent challenge. What you hear and what the audience hears out there are two different things. And if you can get a friend with the score and you just mention, you've got a pianissimo there, but it doesn't sound, bring it out, you play a little less. Have people, we did that. We had people who listened to us and watched the score and said, it's not coming across, you see. And so But you've got an awfully good beginning. You see, you have a terrific sense of rhythm and a terrific sense of what's actually the main thing that's missing is this solidity of the fingers. I mean, they just have to almost over accent and over articulate those things at the beginning and then bring them quieter down when you have good hearing from each of you, you see, because you have to rely upon what everybody else is sounding like too. But bravissimo, really. Lynn? Are you doing the last one first? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Welcome, we're the Catalyst Quartet, and I'm Carlos Rodriguez, and this here is Christopher Jenkins on viola, and our violins are Jesse Montgomery and Carla Donahue Perez, and we'll be playing the finale of the C minor Brahms String Quartet.
Okay. All right. Now, agreed, one is always trying to get to the, you might say, the urtext, the basic message that the composer is trying to create musically in the piece. And when we were learning Brahms in the early days, we played for different musicians, some of them who knew Brahms. I mean, really, I mean, they were old enough that when we were in the 30s and into the 40s of 1900s, and they had actually played for Brahms. And some of the people wanted us to play, said Brahms always liked fast tempos. And a few of the others said, oh no, Brahms likes slow tempos. So we were always buffeted forward and backwards by the experts. And so my first question to you people is, you did a lot of rubato changes of tempi, and some of them I thought worked, and some of them I was very surprised at. For instance, where he writes at near the end, forte stringendo. For about 3 bars, maybe even almost 4 bars, you didn't do anything. You played straight. Then you made a little bit of a stringendo, and then you got slower into the end, and then finished off in a funny way. Wouldn't you say that this is a climactic end to a movement? Well, you didn't make it climactic. All right, we can work on what I think would be happier for this piece. But basically, watch out. 2 things in this group. You have a good sound, but some of the vibrato gets in the way of the nuances that you want, and swells of bows get in the ways also. So you want much more straightforward playing. As a matter of fact, as I said, we played for different experts, and some would want just the opposite of the others. So we always had trouble figuring out and finally coming down to our own points of view. But I think that you don't want variation in your own sounds. In other words, you don't want the vibrato to not work with the swell of the bow, and you don't want a tempo that coincides with where you're going or where you're ending up, you know. So let's work on that in terms of continuity. I thought, now I'm going to ask you, there's always, you know, there's no Bible, but I always think of this movement as much faster than you people. Now, did you ever consider it much more kind of climactic for the whole move of the whole piece, the whole quartet? I mean, da 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 dee dee da 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 dee dee da da dee 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 ba dee ba da dee da dee da. I mean, more this way. And you guys are playing quite, you know, maybe you were just getting started, and if you warmed up, it would be a little bit more passionate. But basically, I thought it was too casual. So let's start with that first of all in terms of tempo. Play the opening. Just da dee dee da. I personally would make a little bit of a, not an accent, but a kind of a da 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 da. I would bring out that da 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 dee dee I mean, yours sounds like da 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 dee like that. See, you want da 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 dee dee no, good. That opening was terrific. But then the silence was absolutely sleeping. Ya-da, da-da, no, dee-ya, da-da. I mean, in other words, I think you will find that reality demands that you do not play metronomically like a typewriter. Believe me. I mean, after you play ya-da, I mean, we're waiting. Da-da, da-da-da-dee-dee. And then really start the tempo, you see? Try that. Okay, good. You have a beautiful sound, but you don't make me excited about da 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 da. No, the direction is forward. Da 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 dee dee da 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 dee dee ya dee ya, like that. Take that her upbeat to the third measure. Da 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 dee dee. Okay, now you have the busy part. Could it not be so sustained da 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 da, but ta da ta da ta da da ta da ta da ta? Try that. Wait. Bravissimo. All right. Didn't the beginning sound good? Yeah. All right, now listen. Your vibrato gets in the way of your straight bowing. Da 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 da. I hear da 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 da. Yeah, no, you don't want to be that way. You know, singers who have that kind of vibrato, people don't like the sound. Also string players. So you have a good vibrato, but you overdo it. You see? You don't have to play a continuous, sweet-toned thing. As a matter of fact, see, interestingly enough, I'm old enough that I lived through a very interesting transition. Brahms wrote this piece. Then a few people that we studied with played for Brahms. See, and they had different ideas about it. But the one thing that was clear, people today play with much more kind of swimming expression. No, the bowings of the people who played, like you take the masters like Casals and the Priority Quartet. I heard them when I was only 15 years old, and I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I never heard any music making like that. They didn't play all this warm, you might say, gorgeous, sentimental sounds that people today are playing. No, they played much more straight, and it was cleaner, and actually you've reached a deeper feeling of climax and expression and excitement than you did with all this, gorgeous playing that's going on today. Really, believe me. So think about, I was told constantly by one expert after another, don't concentrate on the left hand, concentrate on the right hand. And the strokes should be much more straightforward, like a fighter. Bang! You hit the chin and the guy is out, the sound is out. You see, that's really what we're after. So try that way. Almost say play without vibrato in your case. I mean, you have a gorgeous sound without the vibrato. Seriously. And your sound is good too, but I'd like everybody to play more with their bow as the strength, not the left hand, okay? Try it. Da 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 dee dee yom. Okay, all right. Yeah, bravo, the opening, perfect, really perfect. Now, ya-da. Now you play slower, ta-da-da-da-da, ta-da-da-dee-da-da-da. Now this should actually be faster. Da-da-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-dee, dee-ya-dee-ya-dum-bum. I do ya-beat da-da. okay, all right, fine. Up to there, I thought it was terrifically much better. Now, the that it's too. I'd be closer to the strings and almost play on the string. Da 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 da. Try that right from there. Right there. Terrific. That's exactly the difference. Okay. You don't need to sound sort of working hard and not getting a result. That's good, right? I object to. I hear la da 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 da. Yeah, I want to hear da 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 da. I don't hear that. See, you have an idea that piano should be disappearing. No. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you that's one of the hardest things I had to learn. That until you get to Mahler, basically, piano is a much stronger dynamic than we're taught. I think it's a mistake of a lot of teachers that they're thinking of piano Baroque style, that it's the opposite of loud, you see, instead of thinking that there are these 4 areas of expressive dynamics, and piano is halfway to forte. I mean, we all mislearn that. And by the way, playing in halls really makes that problem even worse, see, because we've played in halls where people said, I didn't hear you at all. So, you know, that's, try that. Where can we start there? And don't play so sustained, da 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 like that. You know where you hit the low C? Okay, now we've stopped and you're starting. Get back to that kind of passionate forward tempo, okay? Oh, you don't have any bow for the C flat? That note, right? You didn't have any bow for it. See, I see the diminuendo, but okay, right there. Da da da. Do you need that measure? You take time. Go into the B natural. Not D-yam, but D-yam. The silence is what you're waiting for. Now, I don't take, you shouldn't take the time so one doesn't know that you're playing offbeat syncopations. I mean, it sounds like you're just dum, bum, bum, but D-yam. Bum. Another with dum, bum, 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 bum. You write out the upbeats to the K. Where do you go down to a lower string?
No, I stay on the same string.
Show me. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I didn't say it right. You do stay on the same string. Would you try not staying on the same string? Da-dum. Okay. That note on the lower string. And not such a big diminuendo either. Okay. As a matter of fact, you can say your C flat. It'll be obviously a little bit softer than the ta, but almost as loud. Now why? Okay, all right. Now why slower? You want it slower?
Probably we're taking the tranquillo into.
Ya da da dee dee. Right on there. Would you try that? And the syncopation loses if you get too kind of broad. You see? Not so, not beautiful, more passionate. Da, 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 da. Good. Now, bring it out. More. Not too much vibrato on the cello. Ba, ba, ba. Lead all the more in the string. Stringendo! Stringendo! don't play the last two chords before the end. So, da 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 ya ya ba ba. In the, it takes you time to get your stringendo going.
We've been working on pacing it.
I'm sorry, what?
We've been working on the pacing of that a little bit and trying to find a way, doing it a couple of different ways.
The general thing that happens, all of us, make the moves in those directions too fast. So you get going too, the stringendo gets fast. When I was yelling stringendo, I didn't mean for you to go faster. I meant to go more consistently ongoing, you see. We almost always did our accelerandos and our retards too fast and got to where we wanted to be much too soon. I mean, it happens. You have to learn how to make those fall into place. By the way, you have a terrific sound, but basically, I'd like to have a chance to shape the vibrato a little differently. I mean, but your sound on the bow arm and everything is terrific, just terrific. I mean, everybody sounds good in this quartet. I mean, good. All right, thank you.
We have a few minutes if there are any questions from the audience or from anyone that's played. This is a great opportunity. We can't all be shy. All satisfied.
What?
Everyone
fine.
seems to be satisfied. No one has a question.
Maybe you have some questions. Am I doing something you
Please,
don't agree
please.
with, or?
So, I think for me and for our quartet, the one main principle that we've gotten from these classes is the idea that piano should not be so soft all the time.
Good.
So I was wondering if you could talk about the evolution of that idea for you and what convinced you that, and if you could talk more about how we should apply that.
You're absolutely right, because I wasn't taught what I'm believing in now. I wasn't. I mean, we were always, I guess, it isn't that there's a strong Baroque attitude towards dynamics, but people, my teachers in Juilliard and around the world where I would play, would always insist that there should be bigger contrast between loud and soft. I think it was a hangover from you might say, orchestras who could make a big difference between a forte and a piano. And basically, we got into the habit of playing too flautando in the piano parts. I mean, there was not enough bite and articulative strength in the soft sounds. And it took me a long time to get out of that habit. We just thought that was it, you see. And I can't even remember any of my teachers trying to get us to play a piano that was a quarter, of the way up to the top, you see. But basically, they should have. That was a failure of them in not understanding that you have these four basic sounds, pianissimo, piano, forte, fortissimo. All the mezzos began to creep in with people like Mahler and Schumann and people after the 1850s began to explore bigger differences in dynamics, but the pupils, meaning us, didn't learn how to make the distinction between the various areas of sound. And also there was the strong feeling that the Bible didn't say you had to believe every single word in it. In other words, you could do whatever you wanted as long as it made some emotional sense in terms of the communication to the audience. And so we began to be very strong in thinking that we could make the piece sound the best with our momentary feelings about which way it went, you see. And there's a truth in both ways, you see. But my final analysis before I say goodbye to this world is that basically one should start with what you see on the page and then grow with great variation and not be afraid to change it, but use that as the basis, you see. And for instance, if you see the stringendo and nothing is happening for 2 or 3 or even into the 4th measure, that's not wrong if there's somewhere in the inside of you that feels something's got to explode forward, you see? In other words, what happens with all of us is we have to learn that the edge of the stage is a big, you might say, emptiness before they understand what you're doing. And you cannot emphasize the differences between one thing and another, whether it be rhythm or dynamics or expressiveness. See, for instance, I love your playing, but it's too much one kind of playing. It's always over-expressive. It's great, but now start thinking about how music isn't just beautiful. See, we all learn to play with gorgeous tones as kids, you see, and now you've got to start making those, for instance, isn't it a kind of truism that if you have, let's say you're a male like I am, or all of us males, and we're always thinking of a beautiful girl like you guys. So basically, it's not, you don't want a person to be always beautiful. No, there's a constant change of variation of what all these composers were saying. Even Mozart, with more classical, you might say, language, has a variation of harmonies and rhythms and things like that, and you've got to get into that and say, how does it hit out here? Now, you need help. In other words, somebody's got to listen. I mean, not just me or some friend, but people have to listen and help you get to realize this. And in your case, you people are great on beautiful sound, not so great on rhythmic, you might say, core rhythms, you see. And with a little encouragement, you can play with great emotional communication. So that's terrific, you see. And don't lose that, but now add all these other variant ways of making the sound different.
I wonder, since most of these groups are at the end of their schooling, starting a professional career, it's a difficult transition. And can you talk, I know, like, for instance, the Juilliard Quartet, you're talking about a 5th year. You guys latched on to Eugene Lehner, and many people were very important to your development as a young string quartet, professional string quartet. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about?
Well, we were lucky. I mean, everybody finds somebody in their lives that has deep meaning in terms of what you want to become as a musician, let's say. And this man, Lehner, he was Hungarian, but he grew up in Europe and was the violist for about 12 years of the Polish Quartet. And he ended up, lots of these people ended up in America, and he ended up in the Boston Symphony. And we met him at Tanglewood, and he became my musical father, you see. And you have to find people like that. And in his case, we really changed from good students to being basically communicative artist because of his demands, you see. And wherever you find somebody who may be critical, but in that direction, go for it. Believe me. And you can also help each other. I mean, by the way, what kind of rehearsal behavior do you guys have? Do you have disagreements?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Yes. Yes.
Do you ever get angry?
Yeah, but it's never in a.
I think we have a lot of fun.
Not physically angry.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun, but there are definitely points when we reach an impasse and there's a push. But I don't think it's an anger mad thing.
No.
No, you seem very rational to me. I mean, that was almost a slight criticism. Not because I don't want you to be rational, but you carry it a little too far in terms of going for broke for certain things. My feeling is that articulative rhythm needs to be stronger. You have too much beautiful bows. I mean, the lower guys are a little bit more rhythmic than the upper guys. You see what I mean? But basically, that's where this quartet, which is a potential for a very, very good quartet, needs to make sure that its rhythmic clarity is communicated. Okay? But bravissimo, really.
Anyone else have a question? Yes.
This is going back to piano, and yesterday you
You
spoke...
talking about the decibel? The dynamic?
Yeah, the dynamic piano.
Yes.
You spoke about the sotto voce should be much more, not than underneath the breath. But I thought the sotto voce meant under the breath, like you say, my wonderful...
Well, you're right. You're right in terms of interpretation. Sotto voce is Italian for under the breath. Yeah, absolutely.
But then how do you do it on the string? How do you do to get... You said it was character that you give to that part. It was in Mozart and in Beethoven yesterday. Both.
Well, it's a combination of everything. You, for instance, let's say you have sotto voce, but you don't have piano written. Now, it means it's not as overt as it would be if there was no marking, right?
Right.
It's a relative thing. Sotto voce is, how are you going to say, for instance, I'll give you an example from our experience. We would see a sotto voce in the early day and do what you're implying. We would play very softly. And our friends would come back who knew the score and were very expert in music and would say, what are you doing there? And we would say, well, we're playing sotto voce. And they say, well, we didn't hear anything. All right? So there's a reality that goes on with even sotto voce. If one doesn't hear the music, then even the character doesn't matter.
Yeah. I noticed it
And by the way, sotto voce isn't always something you want to do. In other words,
But the composer said to do it.
well,
For instance, in
believe
Brahms...
me, we've played for, I would say, maybe 100 composers in our life. From people like Dutilleux and Schoenberg and all the terrific, and people who knew Brahms and we would play what we thought was what they thought was correct, and they would say, no, we don't out here. It sounds differently than it does on the stage. You see, so then there's a kind of adjustment you have to make towards learning about acoustics. There's no halls that are the same, and there's no, for instance, we would play in a way that somebody said, I heard the violist, but I didn't hear the second violist. In the same performance, somebody else would say, I heard the second violist, but I didn't hear the violist. How do you manage with that? You begin to try to center all the communication into an acceptable way for all people to respond, you see. And I would say sotto voce doesn't mean pianissimo. No. It means, no, it doesn't mean that, you see.
I just noticed this morning in some Brahms, there was piano and sotto voce together. In
Yeah.
Brahms piano pieces I was working. Now,
Uh-huh.
how does a violin do this?
Well,
I know how the piano does it because you just play a little louder and you have to pedal with it. I mean,
well, let's not get into pedaling
the
and then
unicorn,
piano
sorry.
playing
No,
because
that's
that's
different,
even
that's
a different
different, I know.
problem.
I think we're probably at the end. I just would like to remind everyone that tomorrow we have 2 master classes of Robert Mann, one at 10 a.m. and one at 2 o'clock. They're here at the Manhattan School of Music, so if you're in the New York area. And then on Sunday, there's a concert where the quartets
Everybody.
are playing performance. And I believe that's at 2 p.m. in Greenfield Auditorium, also at the Manhattan School of Music. That's an insight. Anyway, so thank you very much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event.
Bravo, bravo. I like you. Great.
Carlos came up with it.
I came up with it. Actually, with Jesse.
I wanted to ask you a quick, I was told to ask
Pizzicato
you about
question.
pizzicato. Before we go.
Let's